Today we're talking BrickHeadz. We got Daisy Duck, Huey, Dewey, Louie, and of course Scrooge McDuck from DuckTales. You gonna make that a thing every time we say DuckTales? Okay then. Hey y'all, I'm Josh, this is Josh, Build Stuff, and today we're talking about some BrickHeadz of some anthropomorphic ducks. Specifically, we've got Daisy Duck, we got Huey, Dewey, Louie, and Scrooge McDuck from DuckTales. Okay, so you are doing it throughout the whole video. These sets just came out in June 2021. Daisy contains 110 pieces. Scrooge and his nephews contain 340 pieces, and Scrooge costs $25. Daisy costs $10. It's just your run-of-the-mill, normal old BrickHead stuff. The first question that you all probably want answered is, hey Josh, why'd you buy a bunch of Disney character BrickHeadz sets? And I'll answer that. It's because in the past I bought a bunch of Disney character BrickHeadz sets. The whole thing is cyclical. I bought some before, so now I have to buy more in order to complete the entire collection. That's how cycles work. They go round and round. What I'm saying is LEGO has previously released a bunch of the classic Disney characters, the main 6 or whatever it's called, of Disney characters in BrickHeadz form, and they only just released Daisy, and I guess Scrooge and his nephews are kind of ancillary. I don't know if they're technically a part of the Mickey Mouse and Friends BrickHeadz collection. We're not going to get into those crazy controversies today. You may be also wondering, what is there really to talk about in regard to some new Disney character BrickHeadz? And actually, you would be surprised, but we'll get more into that after we build these couple of sets. The builds for these sets, well, I'm not going to say that they were interesting builds or that they were engaging builds or particularly enjoyable builds just in the least. They were builds of BrickHeadz. If you built one BrickHeadz, then, well, you've built any and all BrickHeadz. If you want to talk repetition, then try building Huey, Dewey, and Louie, who are literally the same build with slightly different colors. I don't like to bash on BrickHeadz, and yet, here we are. If you want to talk character relevance, which I know a bunch of you do, you were about to comment, why are we getting Daisy Duck BrickHeadz instead of like a bunch of other more relevant characters? Daisy is one of like the main 6 of the classic Disney 6, those being Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Goofy, and Pluto, of course. So Daisy kind of completes and rounds out that entire bunch of very important characters. Also, Scrooge and his nephews are also important to the Disney character line, but I don't actually think they are a part of like the Mickey and Minnie Mouse and Friends line or whatever LEGO BrickHeadz is calling it. They are kind of more ancillary. They're on the DuckTales side of things, if we dare call them that. You want to know what my favorite part about this set is? This Scrooge and nephews set. It's actually something I never pay attention to on the box, but on the top of the box we get translations of what these characters' names are in other countries, and I'm not making fun of them, but I think here in America we got much worse names than they did in other parts of the world. Here in America we obviously got Hubert, Dubert, and Louie. I don't think Lubert really works in that situation, but I think this is the French translation. We get Scrooge McDuck, it's Balthazar Picsou, and we get Riri, Fifi, and Lulu, who are much cooler names. Also, shout out to my friend Lulu, my friend Louis. We don't call him Lulu. We should. So, hey Lulu. Also, I think this is Spanish. We get Rico McPato, who I think is Scrooge. We get Hugo, Paco, y Louie. Also, I guess Louie translates fine in other languages, but what is it? This dude's name is Balthazar in a different language. We get Scrooge McDuck, Riri, Fifi, Lulu, Rico, McPato, Hugo, Paco, y Louie. Those are much better names, in my opinion. Scrooge and his nephews, I can see an argument being made that they are not as relevant as some other characters. They are definitely ancillary characters, but they were very important to the DuckTales franchise. And this conversation gets me thinking about what other characters we could introduce to this main Disney cast of new BrickHeadz. The first character that comes to mind, because I am a parent and I watch a lot of Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, come inside, it's fun inside. The first character I'm talking about is Clarabelle, who is like a cow who appears relatively frequently. So let's petition to LEGO to give us some of these characters in BrickHeadz form. So hashtag wear Clarabelle. There's also another duck character called Ludwig von Drake, who's like a professor character who looks very similar to Scrooge. It's very hard to tell the two of them apart. In all honesty, the Disney character lore goes deep and weird between all these different franchises. Also, if we are digging more into the DuckTales character lore, then give me Launchpad. He is the pilot of the plane from that franchise. So hashtag Where Launchpad. Also in DuckTales, there is a female character who kind of rolls around with Huey, Dewey, and Louie here. She is like, she wears a pink hat. She's a girl. I think her name is Webby, and she, I mean, as long as we're making Huey, Dewey, and Louie, we might as well make also a Webby BrickHeadz for whatever reason. So hashtag where Webby. Also, I'm purposely saying hashtag where Webby instead of where's Webby because you can't put an apostrophe in a hashtag. It messes the whole thing up. So, I mean, it's obviously short for hashtag where is Webby, but we don't want to sound like that's a little too formal for my taste. We got to keep things loose, keep things, I don't know, informal. So instead of hashtag where's Webby, we're hashtag where Webby, hashtag where Professor Von Drake, hashtag where Clarabelle, hashtag where, who else did I say? Hashtag where Launchpad. Leave me a comment down below if you even know who Launchpad is. It's a rather important character in the DuckTales line of things. We have to do this close-up part of the video. Well, obviously not. It's my video, but it's my video, so I get to feign obligation here. They're BrickHeadz. They look like BrickHeadz. All of the BrickHeadz with the beaks look very similar to the other BrickHeadz with the beaks. Huey, Dewey, and Louie are literally like carbon copies, clones of themselves, which is weird because that Webby character, I think she's literally supposed to be a clone of Scrooge McDuck. It's very weird. Here's Donald. He is, like I said, similar to the other duck characters that we also get. I sound bitter and like I'm complaining and like I don't like these figures very much, and that is true in large part. But like I said before, if we stick these bunch of characters next to these bunch of characters, look at that. We got ourselves a set of Disney characters. And again, I'm gonna sound a little, I don't know, bothered, annoyed, perturbed, whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna sound not that happy about getting a bunch of new Lego sets, and I do love this whole bunch of characters. I don't know, it speaks to me nostalgically, it speaks to my past, and I like them all, but I don't like their price, I don't like their form factor. I just, I'm going to stop like pseudo complaining about figures, because honestly at this point I'm having trouble even telling how I feel about this bunch of figures. Honestly, you want my honest to goodness opinion on these weird blocky figures from Lego? I wish I could give it to you. I still have no idea how I feel about BrickHeadz. There's like, I like them because they're kind of some sort of artistic renditions of a lot of characters that I like very much, but the renditions are just a little weird. It kind of feels like Lego's trying to capitalize on the whole Funko Pop hype and craze, and they're doing it decently. A lot of interesting pieces are used here. We get a lot of weird printings as results of BrickHeadz, but like, I don't want to own and display a whole bunch of BrickHeadz, and yet, like I said before, I'm buying them out of almost obligation at this point, but maybe I'm just using that as an excuse because I really like the Disney characters as little BrickHeadz figures, and I like having them as BrickHeadz figures, and so I am not gonna lie, I am going to buy more BrickHeadz if Lego continues to release them, as long as they're characters from franchises that I like. And I've even not bought some from plenty of franchises that I like, but I mean, I purposely hold off because I'm like, $10 for a little duck with a little bow on its head, like that's easy to justify and still at the same time hard to justify, if you know what I mean. As always, thanks so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about BrickHeadz in the comments down below. Maybe some of your opinions can help me to, I don't know, figure out what I actually feel about these little figures. Again, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and tell your friends. I'll see you next time. Also, just to see if this DuckTales reference resonated with anyone out there, I did ask my wife in the middle of filming them, so I was like, what do you think of when I say DuckTales? And she said, Awoo Ooh, and I was like, okay, so that'll resonate with some people. And she goes, yeah, I think that'll land. And I go, that'll land as long as Launchpad's doing his job that day. And she was like, so I think I left it at the woo woo, and yet still here we are. We made a bunch of references to the character Launchpad, who again, he's the pilot of DuckTales. He's a pretty important character. This is the end of the video. As always, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.